Did you see what's going on? Obviously, you've seen what's going on in California. But the governor gave this creepy fucking speech where he was talking about speculators coming in and talking about what to do with the land of all these homes that have been burnt down while it's still only 6% contained. And he did this little dance like, I've been talking with these, with the governor of Hawaii about what to do. We got some ideas. A speculator. We're gonna have some meetings. Like, he's
really?
Oh,
California Governor Gavin Newsom is now calling his city's homeless encampments unacceptable, which is odd since he's the guy who, made them acceptable, turning sidewalks into red carpet events for drug addicts, thieves, and unemployed CNN anchors. On Monday, he urged cities to ban the camps from sidewalks, parks, and other public areas. So after years of denying the problem, he's now pretending to fix it, which is like putting on a condom as you're leaving a whorehouse. Who hasn't?
What happens when America's most fearless podcaster joins forces with late-night TV's sharpest tongue to peek behind California's golden curtain? Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld didn't just ask the question, they blew the drapes clean off, revealing a backstage mess that even Hollywood CGI couldn't pretty up. Rumors suggest that the real Gavin Newsom is far less statesman, far more salesman, and the pitch he's perfecting might be for a product nobody wants to buy. They started where the smoke still lingers. Literally. In the middle of the deadliest wildfire season on record, with containment stuck at a measly 6%, Newsom stepped to a microphone grinning like he just discovered a new influencer filter. Families were still digging through ash for melted rings and burned black photo albums, yet the governor was already teasing meetings with speculators and brainstorming land use proposals. Reports claim big-dollar donors were circling the charred hillsides, eyeing cheap plots the way hedge funds stalk foreclosed homes. Rogan laid down the punch. How do you smile about development plans when kids are crying over lost baby pictures? And the comedian-in-chief of Fox followed up with a jab that landed even harder. It's like putting on a condom when you're already halfway out the front door of the you-know-what house. If that felt brazen, California's next twist bordered on surreal. After years championing compassionate sidewalk encampments, turning boulevards into red carpet galas for addicts, thieves, and unemployed CNN anchors, Newsom suddenly declared tents unacceptable and urged cities to sweep them away. The pivot was so abrupt, Rogan compared it to a heavyweight fighter switch-kicking himself in the head. Gutfeld, ever the wordsmith, called it a fashion show runway-themed government overreach, but make it sexy. Viewers watching the mashup of snark and stats couldn't decide what stunned them more, the governor's flip-flop or the speed with which he denied he'd ever championed the policy in the first place. But hypocrisy has tears, and the French Laundry episode sits at the penthouse. While ordinary Californians faced curfews, shuttered businesses, and one-size-fits-none mandates, Newsom wined and dined unmasked among Napa Valley elites. Rogan, already pondering a Texas relocation, saw the soiree and booked it east on Interstate 10 faster than you can say, freedom fries. He told listeners straight,
in Hawaii, you had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
With a big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his shoulders. Speculator, watch this. Talking to Josh. Look at this little wiggle. It's excited about the possibilities of speculators coming in. And he's saying we're move forward. We're going to move forward on that. These people lost their homes. A lot of those people don't even have fire insurance because the fire insurance pulled out of California. I think 69% of fire insurance pulled out of California because they're like, this is too crazy. Like, you guys aren't doing jack shit to manage this. You're not clearing the brush.
When leadership feels like performance art, why stick around to applaud? Speculation swirls that private polling showed the fiasco nuked whatever post-recall goodwill the governor had salvaged. On Rogan's mic, that rumor landed like a kettlebell. Thud, undeniable and heavy. The exodus wasn't anecdotal. Silicon Valley icons, comics, and blue-collar lifers alike streamed toward Austin, Boise, and Miami, speaking with U-Haul contracts louder than ballot box chatter. Economists on Rogan's show ran numbers, corporate taxes that gouged, energy costs that spiked, red tape so thick it could clog a paper shredder. Gutfeld captured the vibe in a single line: modern Oregon Trail minus dysentery plus Teslas. Laughter echoed, but the undertone was panic. If California's bleeding innovators, America's next-gen engine is idling on an empty tank. Energy policy provided Exhibit A. Newsom trumpeted solar's glory while the grid wilted at the first sign of a heat wave, begging residents not to charge their EVs between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. He banned gas stoves while half the state grilled by flashlight. Gutfeld rolled his eyes so hard you could almost hear them click. And yet, rumors claim green tech lobbyists keep the campaign coffers flush, explaining why the governor presses on even as rolling blackouts turn climate virtue into real-time comedy. In the middle of this chaos, the man many call California's Sparkle Prince launched. Wait for it, a podcast. The promotional trailer, posted to X, showcased cinematic drone shots, sweeping strings, and a promise that Newsom is no ordinary politician. Observers noticed a glaring omission. Not one mention of the wildfires still smoldering under his watch, or the budget cuts to fire prevention that critics argue stoked them. It felt like someone hawking hair gel in a hurricane. Rogan clapped back. Hollywood polish can't outshine burned-out towns. The message? The governor's narrative is spotless only because reality's been cropped from the frame. Enter Greg Gutfeld, raccoon-eyed and thesaurus-armed. He didn't rant. He filleted. Comparing Newsom to a Cologne ad governing Sim City on nightmare mode, he highlighted the dystopia day spa vibe. Tent villages beside artisanal juice bars, boarded-up shops next to $12 lattes.
Not President Newsom either. Nobody believes in that guy. That guy's a f***ing con man. Everything he did in California, from trying to mandate vaccines for kids to being caught public without a mask and lying about the fact that he was outdoors.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in that guy. He's just a politician. Just a stone-cold, narrative-driven politician. Nobody thinks he's a real human. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you think he's corrupt or not, that's a human being. You know what that guy is. Same thing with RFK Jr. Whether you believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective, and you know that's a human being. With Newsom, you got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people want that, but they might want it more than they want President.
Vanity Fair glam shots showed the governor glowing. A quick zoom out revealed sidewalks streaked with something you don't step in unless you've got health insurance. Media outlets swooned anyway, lauding bold leadership while families played Russian roulette with rent and gas prices. Gutfeld's punchline: Gavin's hair gel could fix pump prices if he just rang it into the tank. Climate talking points: solar panels, carbon neutrality, equity this, equity that. Beautiful in speeches, brutal in real life. Working families got slapped with fines, blackouts, and the privilege of funding bureaucrats' government hybrids.
Their houses have been burned, all their childhood memorabilia, all the stuff for their kids, the photos, the fucking everything they have. Everything they have is gone. All heirlooms, you know, their mother's wedding ring, that kind of shit. Everything's burnt to the ground. And this guy's like standing in front of all this stuff, and he's got a smile on his face, and he's talking about land use.
The development plan.
Rogan's experts dug into spreadsheets, showing how subsidies ricochet to high-income homeowners, while renters light candles at 8 p.m. Gutfeld needed no charts. He just pointed at the darkness and quipped, "Looks like the planet's saved, but your fridge contents are doomed." While all of that simmered, whispers spread about 2028. Rumors suggest top Democratic strategists see Newsom as Plan B if the current White House lineup falters. He's already tested the waters. San Francisco streets suddenly pristine for Xi Jinping's motorcade. Homeless tents whisked away as though part of a magic trick nobody was supposed to mention. He defended the cleanup with a line that'll live in meme infamy: "When friends visit, you tidy up." Rogan chuckled darkly. Why not keep the house clean every day? Gutfeld pictured the same logic applied to personal hygiene. "I only shower when the in-laws fly in." That's when the Rogan-Gutfeld crossover detonated online. Two audiences often worlds apart aligned like planets before an eclipse. Rogan's long-form aficionados brought receipts, charts on outbound migration, interviews with homeless shelter directors, side-by-side footage of blackout maps. Gutfeld's late-night legion arrived armed with sarcasm and the perfect one-liner: "He governs like Wi-Fi, always buffering." Together, they painted Newsom as a cardboard cutout of charisma. Great hair, zero backbone, all talking points, no torque. The wildfire land grab rumor resurfaced under harsher light. Legal analysts suggested to Rogan that emergency powers loopholes could expedite sales of burned property to fast-track redevelopment. Nothing proven, they stressed, But the optics reeked. Gutfeld imagined the campaign slogan, "Rebuild your dream. Just sign here, ashes optional." By the time the segment ended, YouTube's comment section read like a bipartisan roast, disbelief oozing from every emoji.
Lost.
We lost. We lost the popular vote, and we lost the electoral vote. We got crushed. But
Kennedy, I think the answer is yes, 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 yes.
Was it because of Israel? Yes. Interest rates? Yes. Too woke? Yes. It's like every bad policy that trickled up to the White House during the Biden administration started in California. That state is responsible for the worst politicians in modern history. And he is at the top of the list, and there are some ignoramuses on that.
Meanwhile, California's business climate meltdown rolled on. A venture capital icon told Rogan confidentially, audio distorted to protect anonymity, that startups now treat Texas permitting like Amazon Prime. Fast, cheap, and arriving tomorrow. Over in late night land, Gutfeld described the same shift as capitalism spotting a better buffet table. Different metaphors, identical verdict. The Golden State has become a gilded cage. Electric grid chaos fed the narrative. One August evening, millions got cell phone alerts begging them to raise thermostats and lower usage to avoid emergency shutdowns. Rogan quipped, "Imagine you ban gas cars, then tell people not to charge them. It's like banning water and praying for rain." Gutfeld pictured Newsom midnight tweeting, "Sorry about the darkness, send vibes," while influencers filmed candlelit mukbangs featuring half-defrosted sushi. Funny, until you remember life support machines run on wall sockets. The hypocrisy highlight reel kept rolling. Vaccine mandates for kids, then maskless fundraisers for adults. Blaming big oil for gas prices, while California's own tax structure inflates each gallon by $1.30, boasting sanctuary policies, then quietly pleading with federal agencies when migrant housing costs exploded. Each example gave Rogan hard data to unpack, and Gutfeld fresh meat for the satire grinder. And yet, through every roasted soundbite, the governor kept that movie trailer voice. Climate justice, humane housing, tech innovation, phrases so polished they could double as smartphone wallpapers. But when someone asks why the average Angeleno pays half a paycheck for rent and a quarter for parking tickets, the script malfunctions. Rogan's calm delivery made the holes obvious. Gutfeld's comedic timing made them unforgettable. That dual assault exposed the dark secret hiding in plain sight. Newsom's leadership is presentation over performance. He's the cinematic teaser before a film that never screens. The glossy menu for a restaurant whose kitchen has rats doing the cooking. Californians aren't just frustrated, they're exhausted from starring in a disaster movie sold to them as a dream vacation. By the time our truth bulldozers rolled to a stop, a paradox surfaced. Even critics admit Newsom's charisma is real. It's the substance that isn't. The question Rogan poses, and Gutfeld skewers, is brutally simple. If California is the preview, do we really want to bankroll the nationwide sequel? And there the two voices converge. One wields long-form logic, the other weaponized humor, but both urge viewers to weigh charm against consequences. So we end where we began, popcorn in hand, staring at a screen. All that's left is to decide whether Gavin Newsom is the protagonist of a comeback saga or the slick narrator of California's cautionary tale. Drop your verdict below, because if the curtain ever rises on Act 2 and the scenery looks familiar, you'll know exactly which theater this blockbuster came from.